goodness. So hello, welcome everybody to Chic Wealth Society. I'm super duper excited tonight to have a special guest on with us tonight. So before we get started, go ahead and tag all of your friends. Go ahead and tag your tribe, your girls, your cousins, your aunties, your sisters. Tag everybody you know. Share this feed out. I'm super duper excited to have my wealth mentor, Dr. Jewel Tankard, on with us tonight. And so let's go ahead, get everybody in the room. If you did not click on the StreamYard link at the top of the post, please click on the StreamYard link and give them permission to show your name, okay? Because that way, if you ask a question, because yes, this is going to be very inactive, very informal, so I want to make sure that you guys are asking Dr. Jewel questions. This is the time. Yes, Jamaica, I'm so sorry, girl, I was on mute and I was just talking and moving. And I talk with my hands, so y'all probably was like, what is she doing? Sign language. So make sure you guys go ahead and click on that StreamYard link so I can see your name if you ask a question or if you comment and post. Go ahead and tag all your friends, tag everybody, all your girlfriends, your wealth tribe. Remember, I put a post out there the other day. I said that your net worth is made up of your network, right? So if you look at the 4 or 5 people that you are around all the time, right? Look at those people, look at those ladies, and tell me, what is their net worth, right? What are they doing? Are they being productive? Are they starting businesses? Are you guys having business conversations? What are those 4 to 5 people that's around you, that's all with you all the time? What does it look like? Because your net worth is dependent upon your network. And so it's so important to be in a community, to be around like-minded women who are who are building wealth, who are starting businesses, who are writing the books, who are starting the ministry, right? Whatever it is that you're doing, going back to school, or whatever it is that you're doing. And so, hold on, this is Dr. Jewel StreamYard. Okay. So whatever it is that you're doing, you want to make sure that it's to build and build wealth, right? Because in the end, building wealth will also turn around and help us build the kingdom. And that's exactly what we do. And we are doing marketplace ministry. And so I'm super excited. Let me text her this link real quick, you guys. Let me pull this up and text this to her really quick. And so I'm super excited to have her on here. So hopefully you guys have already purchased. I just sent it to her. Okay, perfect. Hopefully you guys have already purchased her book. Okay. Hopefully you guys have already purchased her book. It is called The Mind of a Millionairess by Dr. Jewel Tankard. And the forward is actually by Kim Kiyosaki, who is the wife of Robert Kiyosaki, who, as you guys know, if you ever have been in the world of business and entrepreneurship and have read the book of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. So his wife actually wrote the forward to this book. They're really good friends. And so I'm telling y'all see, look, I have my highlighter, because you got to get serious about that thing. Every millionaire, multi-millionaire that I know read at least 3 to 5 books a month. Every single one of them read at least 3 to 5 books a month. Okay. Audio book, regular book, whatever, right? Because they know that reading keeps their minds fresh, right? Reading and getting to understand concepts, learning new things, right? All of that comes through reading, right? And so it's so important that we stretch ourselves with reading a book. And so this month, normally in the Chic Wealth Society Elite, is where we do a book of the month. So every month, hey, Shalonda, make sure you guys, I see a Facebook user, so make sure you guys click on that StreamYard link and give us permission so we can see your name, because I want to be able to address you by your first name. Thank you, Miss Jamaica. And so every month in our Chic Wealth Society Elite, we have a book of the month. We have a book of the month. And so we've been reading a book every single month. And so this month I opened it up to the Chic Wealth Society Facebook group. So I said, hey, let's go ahead and let's read this book together. And I'm telling y'all, so far it has been, look, I got highlights all through the book. It has been phenomenal. And so I'm just super excited. So if you have not gotten your book, make sure you go on Amazon. Make sure, hi, she is on here. We're going to get ready to add her in. Let me just add you to the stream, Dr. Jewel.
Hey, everybody, how we doing?
Good. How are you, Dr. Jewel?
I am doing amazing, girl. Back to back over here, but it's good. It's
I
good.
know. I appreciate you so much for getting on with us tonight. I was actually just in the middle of telling them because the Mind of a Millionairess is our book of the month for Chic Wealth Society. Yes. And so you already see I got my little tabs. I got my little highlights. Look, my little highlighters and everything. I mean, I keep it with me literally. And so I'm super excited. And everybody, I mean, so far, literally, like the comments and the feedback, Dr. Jewel, that is coming from this book is just life-changing. It's mind-changing. It's the stretch that you always talk about. And so I definitely So I was letting everybody know that they can purchase the book from Barnes and Noble. They can definitely go on to Barnes and Noble and purchase the book, as well as Amazon. You can purchase the book from Amazon as well. So please make sure you guys get your book, because this is a book that we are going through this month. So I'm not going to waste any more time. I'm just super excited that Dr. Jewel took the time out to get on with us today. I think it's just so, thank you, Shalonda, for putting that in the chat. As a matter of fact, Shalonda, can you do me a huge favor, and can you get the links for me and put the links in the chat so it'd be easier for them to click on and go right to it? That would be amazing. Thank you so much, Shalonda. My sis, y'all, she had my back all the time. So Dr. Jewel, I'm just excited for you to be on today. I have been in this space with you, the financial space with you for almost 4 years now. And I mean, I remember literally back in like, it had to be like, I don't know, 2012, 13, Thicker Than Water was on. Is it like 2012, 13? And I was like, man, I wish I knew her. I wish, I was literally not even understanding that I was manifesting some things up out of my mouth because of what I was speaking. And it actually happened for me. And my life has forever been changed. And so I just wanted to have you come on and speak to the ladies today, just talk to the ladies today, just about so much, in the financial world, and, trusting your financial gut. I mean, there's so many quotes and Jules gems in here that are absolutely amazing, just knowing where you come from and where you are now. And so I just want you, if you could just speak to some of those things and just encourage the women, that would be amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So thanks, Jackie, for having me on here. And I'm just so glad that we've been riding now for a few years, girl. And that you're still holding on. Sometimes people say they want wealth, but they're not willing to go the distance. It's all about the distance. It's not just what you do in a month. It's not what you do in a year. It's not even do what you do based on your feelings, because some days you don't feel like it, but you got to know, like, hey, it's going to cost me something, but I'd rather pay this cost of being wealthy than paying the cost of doing nothing and not making change and not being flexible and not being adaptable and not learning, and then pay the cost of poverty. And so, I always tell people, you got to ask yourself some real questions. Who am I? What do I want my life to look like? Where do I want to live? What do I want to drive? Not where do I want to live? How do I want to live? What do I want to eat? Where do I want to be able to go? I mean, these are questions that we all need to ask ourselves, and not just for today, quite honestly, Sandra, but it's for, in 5 years, in 10 years, in 20 years. I think that what's most important, Jamaica, is that we get a revelation on that. I want longevity. I don't want to just hit a lick. You know what I'm saying? And I've just learned over the years, Shalonda, that, trusting my instinct, trusting my gut. It was so crazy. My daughter, we were in Houston this last week because we had a crypto conference down there. As you know, Jackie, was great. And my daughter was with me. And she had some friends that were, putting pressure on her to go to that big concert that they were having in Houston, and she just wasn't feeling it. And so when it happened the next day, I didn't know that happened until after. She said, Mom, they were asking me to go, and I just never, I wasn't feeling it, and I didn't go. And I said, always trust your gut. Let that be a lesson, to always trust your gut. I don't care who doesn't want to go, who wants to go. You always trust your gut. And that's what I've had to do. When I got started in this space, it'll be 6 years in April. I had a lot of people like, I'm not doing that. That doesn't make sense. I don't understand it. Why are you doing this? I mean, I had a lot of resistance, but I've learned I don't let resistance dictate my life. My instincts told me, everything in me told me, go and run. And that's exactly what I did. And now here I am, multiple millions of dollars later, because I made a decision and I trusted my instinct. I'm so proud of my honey. He's now trading, but he watched me for 4 years. What if I wasn't that kind of woman who knew how to use her own brain? You
Yeah.
know, we have a lot of influence over our husband, our family, and, the people that we love. But if we're wishy washy and not trusting our own instinct, you don't realize not only will you miss the bag, but a whole lot of people that were really looking to you end up missing the bag.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's so good. And one thing that I love about, it is because a lot of times when we look at a mentor or a coach or whatever, we kind of see ourselves in them, right? And so the fact that a lot of women, like even on here, I know for a fact they're married, they have children. Some of them are corporate women, they've been on their jobs for many years, right? Making really good money, right? But you can make a lot of money, but if you spend a lot of money, it doesn't matter, right? You're not really building wealth. Children, and just having businesses, maybe startup businesses, things like that. And so you really speak a lot about trusting your financial gut. I know you're in entrepreneurship, but just like, can you just speak to oh wait, hold on, and you are a pastor. Hold on now.
Yes,
Right.
I love the Lord. I love the Lord.
Yes. And that's huge right there, right? Because, first of all, a woman pastor, a woman pastor with some money, wealthy, you know what I'm saying? And so, and you talk about it all the time, and it's so true. Growing up in the church, it's like people shone on wealth. Like if you were like had something or had a little money, you was like, they must don't love the Lord. They must be worshiping the devil with all that.
Girl. Hashtag too much.
Right. So can you just speak to like that just all the way around, as far as balancing things out and knowing, what to do, when to do, just that whole piece of all of the pieces that we tend to take on as women.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, I've always been a person that believed in being multi-dimensional, because I looked at a lot of pastors and I looked at their lives, and, unless they were mega pastors, the average pastor is probably struggling. And I never thought that was cute. I mean, honest to God, I didn't even want to attend church when I was a teenager. I went to church with my grandmothers. I didn't grow up in church. I just went to church with my grandmothers when I was spending the night with them over the weekend. And, they were sweet people and loving people in the church. And I knew God was real, but I really didn't have an interest in leaning in to having any real commitment or relationship with him, because, they pass in the basket. People putting in pennies and dimes and dollars and $5 and, dues. And I was like, what is this? Like, I'll get back with this when I'm 65. That's honest to God. That was my thought. And then, I started dating drug dealers because after my parents went through some financial hardship, I just was trying to get to the bag. You know what I mean? And then, of course, I realized that wasn't the way to do it. And
Right.
I said, okay, you know what? I need to really learn about wealth. I need to learn about wealth patterns. I need to learn about wealth rhythms. I need to learn about wealth because, I want to be wealthy. And so then I actually was blessed to have a pastor that I saw on television, and they looked good and they looked prosperous, and they were talking about Jesus and his plan for your life. And honestly, that's what really attracted me. But I was not attracted to the poverty side. I was not attracted to the struggle side. I wasn't attracted to the no makeup and long dress side.
Right. Right.
I was like, I'm a stiletto,
Right.
skinny jean kind of chick,
And I still love Jesus.
Listen, it still love Jesus. And so I think though now people are realizing that, if you're gonna really win souls to Christ, you have to have something, because people don't want to just hear you talk about the Lord and but you're struggling and your life is not an example. When they can get on IG and watch Meg Thee Stallion or Cardi B, driving around in Ferraris and Lamborghinis and dress
Yeah,
cute and dripping in ice. That's what they want. You know what I'm saying? And so we have to show them that you can be dripping in ice and you can have all of that and love the Lord and have some class about yourself, but they're going to have to see that as an example. I don't think it's just enough to say, okay, Jesus love you and you gonna go to hell if you don't receive Jesus. I mean, people aren't afraid of hell. They watching it on TV every day. So they're desensitized to it. It's normalized. So I think that now, in order to really win people to Christ, that success, and I'm not going to just say success, but mega success is mandatory.
yeah,
Especially for, I think, the majority. I think there'll be some that will still come to Christ, but I think for the most part, if you really want to win some souls, like for real, for real, for real, I had an opportunity to meet Tara Wallace from Love and Hip Hop New York on
yeah.
Saturday. And it was so cool. She was like, "Yeah, I've been watching you and I love what you're doing and da 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 da." And I just was like, "Lord, thank you, that I've been able to make impact, you know what I mean, on somebody's life that, is a mainstream and doing her thing, very much so." But I don't think she would have been attracted if, I didn't have some of the trimmings, and that's just the reality of it.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's so good. And so let's just kind of switch gears into the niche. The niche, right? And so I really, especially this month, so this every month I usually have a theme for Chic Wealth Society. And so this month the theme is investments. Okay. And so we're talking about, different types of investments. And you guys listen, this is literally where I've learned everything I know about everything is where as far as investments are concerned, because when I joined Dr. Jewel's club, it was like, oh, oil wells and diamond mines and IULs and come on, crypto, forex, doing it all, right? And so right now there's a big push for crypto. Huge push for crypto. People are really starting to understand it. They're really starting to like keep hearing the words, and they're like, okay, I think I need to start seeing what this is all about, right? We just saw that the is it the mayor of New York or the
Yeah,
governor of
that's right.
New York?
Mayor of New York taking
Yeah, like
Bitcoin.
he was like, give me my first two payments in Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying? We got football players and wanting Bitcoin instead of getting paid regular and buying houses and stuff like that. And so just speak to like where we're going, you know what I'm saying? Digitally and where we're headed and how us as women, we need to, get up in front of the curve.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I'm grateful that I was on crypto, 60 years ago when I first heard about it. And then I'm going to tell you this, Jackie, it's not because I understood crypto. There's still a lot about crypto that I'm learning. It's still a lot about crypto I don't even understand, but I know enough to have made millions in it. And so, what I want people to know is that you don't have to know everything. I think that's the biggest thing I've learned. You don't have to know everything to make a lot of money from it. But what you do have to do is learn how to play a big game of follow the leader. Most of the time, I've learned things after I've gotten involved in it, not because I took all this time to analyze it, read about it, watch 1,000 videos, and then made a decision. You keep missing the move. If you got to know everything, you're gonna keep missing the move. You gotta learn, get the information, and then say, okay, I'm trusting. And you gotta ask yourself, who do I trust? Who is my wealth mentor, and who is it that I trust? I mean, it doesn't mean that your wealth mentor doesn't make mistakes, but they have a proven track record, probably, if you're looking at them as a mentor in a particular area that you need to follow. Because one thing if you follow broke people, you're gonna stay broke. Right? If you follow the middle class, you're gonna stay middle class. The only
Right.
way to really become wealthy is to follow the wealthy. Listen to what they have to say. Dig
Yeah.
into what they have to say. Ask questions. Don't be afraid to not understand everything, because
Right.
you're not going to understand everything. So I
That's
think that we just have to make a decision that, hey, I'm ready to learn, I'm ready to grow, I'm ready to change, I'm flexible, and get rid of any fixed or rigid mindsets that we may have picked up. Unfortunately, sometimes as people get older, they get very stiff, not physically, but I mean, well, sometimes that happens too, but I'm not talking so much physically, but mentally, and their willingness to learn becomes very sluggish. And if you're not willing to learn, unfortunately, your life is probably going to be sluggish, because one thing I've learned about money, if your money is sitting still, you're losing it. If it's sitting in a savings account, you're losing,
Mm-hmm.
right? The only
Absolutely.
way your money, the only way you're actually growing is if you're growing at least over 20% per year,
Mm-hmm.
because inflation is 20%. So if I'm not growing my money over 20%, somebody asked me the other day, do you still have that index annuity from 10 years ago? I said, girl, I cashed that in because that
Mm-hmm.
index annuity was only paying me 9% a year. 10 years
Mm-hmm.
ago, it was good. But now with Bitcoin growing at 100 to 120% per week, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you do the math. You tell me what's the better deal. Is it a better
Right.
deal for me to buy real estate investment property for 50,000 and put 50,000 in it, or is it better for me to buy $10,000 of Bitcoin that I can 100x my money or
Right.
50x my money with no overhead? So I
Mm-hmm.
think that we just have to all become very teachable right now, and just be willing to say I'm learning. And every
Mm-hmm.
day I'm learning. Every day I'm asking questions, and every single day I'm a student. I'm a
Mm-hmm.
student. Are you an expert? I'm like, I'm an expert student.
Right.
I'm an expert student, and
That's
I'm willing to I'm willing to implement what I learn. So every time I
right.
learn something, I implement it.
That's
I'm not a
good.
slow I'm not a slow to move person. I think that people that are overly analytical, it has its place, especially in accounting and doing numbers, profit and loss statements. But if it comes down to being over analytical and decision making, and you're that way about everything, you're going to end up having you're going to have a very sluggish decision making pattern, which is going to cause you to have very sluggish results. You
Mm-hmm.
can't grow any further than your decisions. You got to make a decision.
That's good. That's good. I love that you have to make a decision. And that's hard for a lot of people, especially women. Like, and I don't, I guess I've always been the one to take risks and just jump out there. I thank God for a wonderful husband who allows me to do that, to be free. It doesn't hold me back. But for some women, they do, their husbands aren't as supportive. And and one of a great example that you always gave us, and especially in the very beginning, I remember you always saying, like, it's funny how we'll ask our husband, babe, can I go buy some crypto, or can I join this educational financial platform because I want to change the trajectory of our family, and it's $175 a month. And you like, well, let me go ask my husband if that's okay. But yet you'll spend $175 a month on some weed, right? But you don't ask your husband, can I take that 175 and go buy some weed? Or can I take $175 and go to Target and go shopping for stuff that I really don't even need, right? And so that just really stuck with me, because of I guess our mindsets and how we think about things, right? When and so saying yes and getting over your fear to join something or to start something new, that really can change your family, can be tough for women. So how can you, like, give us some tips or some points or something on how we can just step out there on faith?
Yeah, I mean, I think, it depends on how you started your marriage off. I was blessed that my husband, respected my gifts. I respected his gifts. And, we're not really the kind of couple that's like, I need permission kind of couple. And it's worked for us. And we've been able to build a really strong dynasty because of it. So I think you first kind of have to have a conversation, with your husband, and let him know you love him and you're proud of him, but you want to grow, you want to change. And, God gave you a brain to use it. And if you don't, it's nobody's fault. If you give somebody authority in your life in an area that they shouldn't have authority, that's really your fault. My husband desired to be a pilot years ago. It really would have been his fault if he would have said, can I be a pilot? And it would have been stupid for me to say no. But what if I said no?
Right.
I think it would have been crazy for me to say no and crazy for him to listen to me. I'm not his mama.
Right.
It's like, I'm not your mama. You know what I mean? You were grown behind man. And so I think what happens is that sometimes you can end up clipping the king or clip the queen. Because if you don't have the freedom to exercise your brain to just learn something, then you're probably going to have a very boring life, a life full of being, you're not going to be fulfilled, which I think is going to bring in depression and anxiety and some of the other things that we see, because you're out here living like half a person because you allowed somebody authority in their life. It's like my husband asking me, can he take a shower? Like, are you kidding?
Please.
Right, please. It's like, honey, is it okay for me to go to the bathroom now? Are you kidding?
Right.
So I think some of these things that we've done, we've called it submission, we've called it Bible, but I think it's stupidity. And I think as a result, when you operate in stupidity, you get stupid results. So I think you have to just kind of say, hey, we got to rework some things. Maybe you grew up thinking that that was traditional or that was, submission. No, that's not submission. It's stupid. You're asking questions that you shouldn't have to ask. My husband's bought properties without my permission. He doesn't need my permission. He's a grown man. He's a king. If he wants to go out and conquer a part of the world, he doesn't need my permission to do it. And I think it needs to be the same way with women. And I think that, and sometimes it means that you have to, have a conversation because maybe you've been operating in a very traditional, old school way. So it could end up being very disruptive to your household. But I think if you share your heart, hopefully there's not a lot of insecurities there. And if there are a lot of insecurities there, well, you might have to say, hey, we got to start, working through some of these things and having some conversations. So I tell people, you can't turn around and think you're going to be Ben and Jewel in the way that you operate. We don't want to disrupt anybody's marriage.
Right.
But I would say that I think it's foolish to ask for those kinds of simple questions that should be basic human rights. It's
Right.
why Harriet Tubman fought for us to be free, for us to get educated. It was the one thing we could not do as slaves. We couldn't educate ourselves. So you mean to tell me in 2021, I'm going to give somebody permission to tell me that I can't learn yet again? I mean, that's just completely bondage. It's foolish. And I think it's stupid.
That's good. That's so good. That's so good. And so, one of the Jules gems in the book, which was really good. They're all good to me, but I can't read them all tonight. As you said, they're
They
real
got to
well.
get the book. Y'all got to get the book now. Get the book. Come the book, girl.
Right.
Come
And
the book.
half
Come
of
the
them
book.
better already had the book because one lady, she was like, I done read the whole book already. I'm going through it a second time. I was like, come through. Come
Oh,
on.
I love it. Y'all got to do 1 minute videos for me that I can post. Y'all do 1 minute
Yes.
videos and send them to my DM.
So y'all heard that. Do 1 minute videos about the book and send them to Dr. Jules DM. And so one of your Jules gems, you said real wealth is how much you have working for you if you decided to stop working tomorrow. So can you just explain that a little bit of what that means?
Yeah, I think most people, all of us, including myself at one point, was income minded. And I still like a lot of income and I still want a lot of people to have a lot of income. But I
Mhm.
think what I want people to really understand, it's not just the money you make. That's why you can meet people that have made $1 million but still have no money because they put all their money in lifestyle or put their money in new cars. I have a G-Wagon, it's a 2014, nobody would ever know. I have a 2013 Range Rover, nobody would ever know. They look great,
Right.
right? So I get pre-owned cars because I don't want to put all my money in a car that's not an asset. A car is not an asset. I want to put
Mhm.
my money in things that grow, like cryptocurrency, right? And
Mhm.
so you don't want to, because here's the thing, and this is why most people have to downgrade. If
Mhm.
you're just income minded but not investment minded, not multiply my money minded, what
Mhm.
happens is you work in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and all of a sudden you're in your 70s, you don't want to work like you did. And so now your income is cut in half because you're not, working the way that you
You
once were, but
Mhm.
now you really don't have any investments because all those years in your earning years, you were not thinking about multiplying your money.
Mhm.
And so this is why you want to get to the point where you're able to live off of the interest and not the principal. The principal should be being used, at least a portion of it, to invest so that eventually you're not just waiting, oh my gosh, I'm waiting for my check, I'm waiting for my check. No, my
Mhm.
interest is on automation and I'm making money every day in crypto.
That's
And
good.
that's what you can do when you become investment minded. So eventually the interest on your investment should outrun your income. Now
Right.
that's real wealth. So
That's
at some point you decide I'm done, you're good. You've already paid off everything and your interest is, bringing in 6, 7 figures a month. Life
Mhm.
is good.
That's good. That's good. And so one of the things that a lot of women they think that you have to have thousands and thousands of dollars to get started, right? Building wealth. And that's really not the case, right? Because it's really wealth is a mindset. And so, just having a little bit and starting a little bit. So we're doing what's called a multiply my money challenge or multiply my 20 challenge right now, where our challenge is every Friday for the rest of the year, we're all saving $20. And I told them it's not about the amount, it's about you being disciplined and being consistent and focus on saving the 20, because it's easy to go blow $20 and, you know, Starbucks or whatever like that. So so even investing, because at the end of the challenge we're going to invest it in something. And so even with that, just investing, Dr. Jewel, and getting started with what you have, can you just speak to that just a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I can remember you looking at a girl who, you know, had a couple $100 in her account, you know, driving a Ford Escort, trying to figure the thing out. You know what I'm saying? So it's not just, but I had to start, you know, and back then it was about having a money market account and having my money in stocks, but I had to start. Like nothing would have happened if you don't start. So sometimes people feel like, well, I got to have a lot of money before I become wealthy. No, what you have to do is create a habit, a wealth habit of paying yourself, not just paying everybody else. We grow up in our culture in particular, we pay everybody else. We pay Gucci, we pay Louis Vuitton, we pay, you know, Dolce & Gabbana, we pay Netflix, we pay cable, we pay Uber, we pay car note, we pay rent, we pay mortgage. We are naturally payees in our mindset. Like just pay. You think money, and then you're thinking, what am I going to buy? Because we have a spender mindset. We have to create an investor mindset, and that means starting where you are. So the $20 challenge you guys are doing is amazing, because you want to show the women you really can say this $20, girl.
Right.
You know, and then you find out, oh, if I can do 20, I can do 100. And then you find out what that 100 can do. Well, shoot, I can do 1,000. Well, shoot, I can do 5,000. So the money will always follow the mindset. Right. You don't say when the money comes, I'm going to do this. You create the vision, and then you work. I've been working since about 7 o'clock this morning. What did I do? I was working on my relationship with Jesus, talking to the Holy Spirit, going over my scriptures, went over my confessions, writing out my goals. So I was working on myself. Then I went to work. So what most people do is they don't work enough on themselves, right? You don't have time to talk about other people. You don't even have time to stay mad when you're working on you. So money is always going to follow who you are.
Right.
Money will follow who you are. And so if you want more money, you have to change you by renewing your mind and learning these things and then implementing it. And it has to be a daily thing. It can't just be like, oh, I worked on myself 2 weeks ago. No, bruh. If you really want to grow, you got to work on yourself every day. So now where most people right now are sitting down watching TV, what are you and I doing? We're out here working. We're working on ourselves. We talking, but while we talking, the Bible says the word is a two-edged sword. So as I'm telling you this is reinforcing these wealth habits in my own life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's so good. That's so good. I'm telling you, it's so important to, you know, have those habits. Because I had to change a lot of habits, you know, Netflix and binge and what is it? Netflix and chill. I don't even know what it is anymore, because I don't even hardly even
chill. Now I still watch me some Netflix, child, but it's gonna be after 10 o'clock at night. It'll be after 10 o'clock at night.
After you work on yourself. I got my one little show I love, my little I forget, what is it, Marriage in Hollywood, what, Marriage in Huntsville, Love and Marriage Huntsville. I love
yeah. Yeah, right.
And your reality show, of course, too, right?
Thank you, girl. Thank you.
Yes, y'all gotta check out Dr. Jewel. Dr. Jewel, she her reality show is back. If you wanna, can you
yeah, so you guys download local now, LOCAL, local, and then now app. It's owned by Byron Allen, the Black billionaire, and you can watch the 4th season.
Yes, that's so good. So good. So yeah, but those are some really good things, is it really working on ourselves. And that's really important, because especially as women, because we always put ourselves on the back burner. We do everything else for everybody else, the kids, the husband, the church, the, you know, the this, the that, and then we put ourselves on the back burner, and then we wonder why we all wore out, look tired, look a mess. You know, Dr. Jewel teaches us in our club, we got to have our lip gloss on and we ain't got nothing else on.
Listen.
Always be popping.
Listen, you ain't got nothing else but you on some lip gloss, honey. Okay, you'll be good.
I keep mine right here, right?
Listen, mine is right here, child. We only got a lip gloss, so I checked it out.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to go get that, because you listen, when your wealth mentors tell you they got this or get that, go get that thing. right? Go get that thing. You gotta, if you want to get to that next level, you gotta watch what they do. You imitate them. You get the things that they have, right? And I'm telling you, it helps so much. I remember even coming to Tennessee when we came last year, and we just Marquita and Camille, my other two wonderful wealth mentors, took us around to see houses in Tennessee. And we even, went to this guy let us into his house. So it was just Dr. Jewel took us out on her yacht. So just being around. Oh, let's just talk about this last thing. Okay, Dr. Joy, I'm gonna have you on here all night because I know you busy. But this last piece, and because this really ties into everything, the crypto, the forex, everything that we're involved in, our space that we're involved in. Just talk about being connected and having those connections and being in the right space with the right people.
Yeah, I mean, you can look at the top 5 people that you spend the most time with, and the law of association is real, not because you're even necessarily thinking about it. Mm-hmm. My husband has had a profound impact on my faith just watching his life. My close friends have had a profound impact on my life by just watching them. So you're always going to move at the speed of your relationships. So if you're hanging out with people who are focused on chilling and partying and just having fun, then that's what you're going to end up doing. You're going to have fun, being entertained, maybe not a lot of money, but you're just going to be entertained. I met a girl over the weekend. She said, people to have more than enough, and so you got to look at that. If you're hanging out with married couples who are happy and winning and dominating, that's what you're going to do. If you're hanging out with couples who just kind of, moseying along in life, then that's probably what you're going to do. So you have to examine your relationships and make sure that your relationships are with people that you admire in some form, not in every way, but there needs to be some level of admiration, because you'll probably become like them, not because you're consciously doing it, but you're subconsciously. That's how when people hang out together, you be like, oh, y'all hang out together because y'all say the same thing, or y'all sound alike, or y'all think alike, or y'all respond the same. That's the law of association. Whoever you hang out with is how you're gonna end up acting like them in some way. So connection is really, really important to you becoming the person that you feel like you want to become. I want everybody to look in the mirror and say, dog, I really love being me. Right. So that means that I got to get relationships. And sometimes you're in a transition relationship. Sometimes you had a lot of relationships, but those people weren't, they were in your life for a season, but they weren't necessarily purpose. You know what I mean? And so you got to be able to examine, are you a purpose relationship? Are you a destiny relationship? Or were you just a seasonal relationship? I love you, I respect you, but we really don't have the same core values, and we don't really have the same vision. And that's okay. That doesn't make them bad or you bad. It just means that you're different in those ways.
Right. That's so good. That's so awesome. Well, listen, Dr. Jewel, I just so appreciate you and love you for jumping on tonight. I know I got some nuggets. I hope all of you guys grab some nuggets. I hope y'all listen. Just go back and rewatch it again and again and again and again until you get it.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me. And I'm really proud of you, Jackie, for just staying in this space. As you know, this is a very male-dominated space in crypto, white male in particularly. I love my white brothers. I'm grateful for them, but I'm really loving to see so many women champion this space. So keep doing it. Stay consistent. And, you already know. You've seen your portfolio grow, and you're going to continue to make moves and continue to see it grow. And so it's just a blessing. So thanks for having me on. Thank you, Sandra, Shalonda, Kim, all you guys that were on here tonight watching. So we got to do this. Huh?
Andrew was the one who read your book straight through. She was like, I couldn't put it
down. Thank you, girl. Send me a 1-minute video on your takeaways, child. But yeah, let's do this again. You're a great interviewer. So I appreciate you.
Thank you so much. So you guys, listen, make sure you go out and get our book of the month, The Mind of a Millionairess. I'm going to put the link back out there for like the 100th time, but that's okay because y'all need to get the book. Definitely you can buy the book on Amazon. You can buy the book on at Barnes & Nobles. You can go to Barnes & Nobles, or you can do it online. Either way, just get the book. Just get the book. I'm telling you, it's mind-blowing. Life-changing. I'm super excited. Thanks again, Dr. Jewel. I appreciate it.
Bye, y'all. See you later.
All right, you guys. So I hope you enjoyed tonight. If you have any questions or some follow-up questions about exactly what we're doing, the space that we're in, feel free to DM me, contact me. I would love to talk to you. I would love to just talk to you about just life or whatever it is that you're looking for, the more success that you're looking for. A lot of times, a lot of us haven't reached our success because of the accountability. And that's one thing that Chic Wealth Society does, is it holds you accountable of saying what you want to be, what your success looks like, and how we're going to get there, and then holding you accountable for taking those steps. And so that's super duper important. So again, thank you for spending some time with us. I know some of you guys are probably eating dinner with your families, so I'm going to let you get back to your families. God bless you. I love you, and I'll see you back in the CWS group this week.